How's it going, everybody? This is Cool Clip. Back with my third video. Talking 9 champions and a very good post 9 champions Raw. Um, so let's get right into it. 9 champions. I didn't order this pay-per-view. I don't really order pay-per-views too much. Mostly because that's a lot of money to be given up every month, especially for most of the time shows that aren't promoted very well or have very interesting storylines or matches. A lot of the time. I did order SummerSlam. SummerSlam was very good, very much worth my money. But 9 champions, I think most people will agree, didn't have as much intrigue. As good as I kind of like the Paul Heyman feud, it didn't pique my interest nearly as much as Lesnar and Punk did, and most people agree with that. And most people will also agree that Orton versus Bryan didn't have nearly as much intrigue as Bryan versus Cena did. So there's that. But yeah, from what I've heard, it's actually kind of underwhelming show. From what I've read, the results felt like a very Raw-esque show. By which I mean they had an opening segment that went like a half hour. They had bonus matches, which annoy the piss out of me, especially considering there's a pre-show. They announce matches for the pre-show, but this thing that people are supposed to buy, they don't announce all the matches. So whatever. Um, and then they had Curtis Axel defend against Kofi Kingston, which is fine if you want to do the 9 champions gimmick, but how is Curtis Axel the heel? He had 2 matches. Um, but anyway, that's beside the point. So talking about the big angles coming out of the show, I don't think anyone, well, besides the main event, I don't think any other titles changed hands. Let's see here. Shield retained, as they should. Pretty much everyone was right about the primetime players. No one else should have won the match. Shield retained, good. Poor Dolph Ziggler. I shouldn't say I called it. Everyone pretty much knew that Dean Ambrose versus Ziggler was happening on the show. So yeah. What was I? Oh, okay. So the three. I shouldn't even count the World Heavyweight title, but the three big ones, I guess, are the World Heavyweight title match, which sounded pretty underwhelming. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this whole Ricardo Rodriguez angle, but Van Dam hit the Van Terminator. I guess it was just to throw off the Reddit guy, which if you guys don't know, I'm pretty sure most of you do. There's been a Reddit guy who I think since before WrestleMania hasn't gotten a Mania or a pay-per-view match prediction wrong, which he's probably somebody in creative or something. I don't really care about spoilers or whatnot, but that's kind of interesting. Some people are saying that they just did this because the Reddit guy picked El Rito when technically Rob Van Dam won, so it did it just to throw him off. But anyway, they did that last month too with ironically RVD again against Dean Ambrose, which I don't know, just seems kind of pointless. There was a what was I saying about the Reddit guy? Oh yeah, I think he claimed that the finish of Daniel Bryan and Cena with Orton interfering had gone back and forth. That's why I did pick it. I don't know how much of that I believe. I mean, that seems pretty much set in stone. I mean, people on the internet were pretty much calling the exact same one. Maybe not Cena being pin clean, at least with the way he was. I thought he might win with a small package or something. But anyway, besides the point. Excuse me. Let's see. So Van Dam won, or via DQ. We gave him the Van Terminator. The feud continues. I heard. I was listening to Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer. I think Meltzer said they don't want to put the title on, or they don't want to take the title off Alberto Del Rio. Why? I mean, I would believe him if that's true, but this is more criticism of WWE than Meltzer. Why? It doesn't matter who holds the belt right now. They can give it to Santino for all I care. It's a pointless belt. But anyway, not as pointless as the Intercontinental. I'll get to that right now, actually. CM Punk, I guess the match was kind of competitive, but they've made Axel look like a chump. I can't remember. Oh, well, he defended on this pay-per-view, but other than that, when does he defend the IC title? I forgot he had it during the build-up to SummerSlam. So, yeah. So Punk hit the GTS and put Axel in the Icon Vice. Beat the shit out of Paul Heyman. And the new Paul Heyman guy, and I don't know if I said this on my first video, I wanted it to be Big E Langston, but I kind of thought it would be Ryback, and it was. Big E's much more talented than Ryback, in my opinion. And I don't even think. Look, I skipped past the Divas match, but was Big E even there on Raw? I don't even know where he is. Maybe he's hurt. I haven't heard anything, but so yeah. Ryback interfered. Ryback's okay. I really thought he'd been underrated by the internet. He's one of those guys, and I shouldn't generalize, but a lot of people, I think, kind of liked him just because he's new. And while I agree, especially, well, actually not over the past 2 years or so, but before that, WWE was really starved for new faces atop the main event scene, and Ryback was actually given wins and such. Then they killed him. I think he went on a streak from 9 champions last year to no, not payback. Money in the Bank, where he didn't win a match, so or pay-per-view match. So what are you gonna do? So yeah, so maybe this pumps some fuel into Ryback. His character's really sucked of late. They had him do this stupid bullying gimmick, which I thought kind of was dumb or just weak, really. I mean, I guess I like what they should go this round Raw. They kind of made him Nelson Muntz, or I didn't even realize this because I heard his, like I said, especially with Raw at 3 hours. When I see a segment that I don't think is that interesting, I skip it most of the time. So I haven't seen too many Ryback segments, but the way he says Ryback rules, I just realized that's yeah, Billy Madison or Doyle rules. If they make him like that, that could be funny. Granted, he's supposed to be feuding with CM Punk, so I don't know what you do with comedy, but if they can make him like a Nelson Muntz, that would be funny. It was actually very funny on Raw. I'll get to that later. But so yeah, Ryback he put CM Punk through the tail. Heyman pinned Punk. Not sure what I think about Punk losing 2 pay-per-views in a row, but they're both kind of due to Heyman. So you could kind of say like Heyman's like that fully on his back that just won't. He just can't get over on this guy. So yeah, they go with that route. That's fine. Then you have the main event. Her is very good. Doesn't surprise me. Both guys are very good. I put them both over in my last video. Hey, or sorry, Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton for the World WWE title. Triple H made no interference, which confused me at first, but we'll see where they went with it. I really liked where they went with it. A few things. First off, I like that this screw job is very different. Very, um, it's not ring the fucking bell or well, it was a fast count, but it wasn't like Armstrong count with Orton. And I thought they went the way I was kind of expecting with it, where they make it look like it's obvious Triple H is trying to make it look like Daniel Bryan. Okay, say that. Triple H is trying to make it look like Daniel Bryan hired Scott Armstrong, but it's obvious to the fans that he didn't. I think that's very cool. And I also like that Orton. It's not like they had him kick out at where the normal 2 would be. He was down and out. It's clear Bryan would have gotten the pin anyway, and I can believe that he told him when he hits that knee, just count real fast. Kind of weird that they have him get knocked out. Funny thing about the knee, though, I think JBL has pretty much named that move the knee that beat John Cena, which is fine if you're trying to get over, but I just like that's the name of the move now. It's not I think Kenta called it the Bosaiku knee kick, which is a alright name, or I don't even know. Something it's just called the knee that beat John Cena, which it's kind of funny. That would actually be a really good gimmick for like a heel or something. Say he gets a big one over a guy like John Cena, like the power bomb that beat John Cena, and that's like the official name of his move. Excuse me. So yeah, Bryan won. Fast count. Most people kind of thought he might be stripped of the title or something. I was interested to see where they went with it. So for the first time in a very long time, I decided to watch Raw. The main reason I don't is because I don't have cable. This day and age, maybe that sounds pretty crazy, but to be honest, I don't watch TV that much. I watch Breaking Bad, which is 2 episodes away from ending. Which I just get on my Xbox. I watch sports, which mostly football and basketball. Basketball, I don't, unfortunately, unless like I go with my dad's a lot. He has cable. That's where I watch most of my basketball. But fortunately, there's not much on network TV. Football, which the majority is on network TV, if the Steelers are playing Monday night like they did this week. Not gonna get into that, but I'll stream it. Sue me. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much all I watch. I watched some. I shouldn't say reality TV. Like I watched America's Got Talent, which I'm really hoping Kenichi Abino wins because that dude's awesome. And I watch MasterChef and Hell's Kitchen because Gordon Ramsay's a boss. Man, I got a dry throat today. So yeah, I watched that. Anyway, I haven't watched Raw in a long time, mostly because it's 3 hours and trying to find it. I don't even think people post on YouTube anymore. I think it's taken down pretty fast. Plus, that's a lot of time to dedicate to a show that a lot of time majority drags on. It's clear. Actually, this week it wasn't, but a lot of times they don't have enough things to fill up the time, so they recap entire angles. And plus, in like 2012, it was really sucking there for a second, especially when they first went 3 hours with I like AJ, but that general manager shtick was terrible. That run she won, not her fault. The booking was terrible. And then the Vicky Guerrero, Cena, Claire Lynch, Delia Bob. I'm not gonna go into that. Anyway, so I haven't watched Raw in a long time. I think the last one I fully watched was I think it was the one where Curtis Axel beat John Cena. I remember it had that awesome tag match with Reigns and Rollins versus Bryan and Kane that went like 20 minutes. That was a good show. They've had some good shows of late. But yeah, I decided to watch this one. I'd actually decided beforehand, but I didn't watch it till the next day. Um, I heard that was pretty good, so I decided to check it out. There were a lot of things I was looking forward to, and most of it panned out. So I'm not going to recap the whole show, but I'll get into what I liked about it, what was interesting. Um, First of all, like I said, I think that finish was really clever, and they kind of stripped the top. They did the stripping angle pretty fast, but I think the ideal is that you're just begging to see Bryan hold on to the title for a long time. He lost it real fast to Orton at SummerSlam, obviously, and then he got stripped of it the next night. You're waiting for the moment where he finally wins it. I just hope that when he does finally win it and he has like a long reign, people buy it the first night because or don't think it'll be overturned. But they can do it if they set it up decisively enough where it's clear that this one's legit. He's got it. So yeah. I realize Battleground's only 2 weeks away, and in fact I pretty much know they're not doing War Games now, which sucks. Apparently I wasn't the only one who thought this might happen. Sorry if there's a vacuum in the background. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Sorry if you get close up my ugly mug. But apparently I wasn't the only one who thought War Games. NYG thought War Games might happen. I think Brian Alvarez on his show mentioned it. So I guess I'm a trendsetter. But obviously I don't believe that. Anyway. So yeah. Spoiler for Friday night, if any of you really care. They announced Bryan versus Orton for the vacant title at Battleground. Kinda anticlimactic, but you only got 2 weeks or so. My guess is it goes to Hell in a Cell. Maybe there's another top draw finish setting up Hell in a Cell. I don't know. See, I really liked the War Games idea because they've got so many characters in the storyline. This storyline is the first one that really feels big. They kind of had that with Nexus. They didn't really get that with Punk. I thought they could, but they really only had it be just Punk's angle and just Punk, Cena, and Triple H and Laurinaitis. So basically, it didn't really affect the rest of the card like Nexus did for a while. And other ones. The Corporation one first happened. So I like that this is a big deal, and I also I was really critical of WWE after Money in the Bank because they didn't really have a top heel. They had Ryback, but he'd already been beaten by Cena. As I said, he was doing that shitty bullying gimmick. But other than that, I couldn't really think of a top heel they had. They had Heyman and Lesnar, but Lesnar wasn't going to be there every month. But it works here now that most of the top guys are faces because the corporation or the establishment, whatever you want to call them, the regime, is heel. So it works that there's a lot of faces that can be fucked over by the heels, basically. And they had Shield too, but again, Shield at that time was pretty. I was afraid for that they would go the way that I shouldn't say the dodo. Go the way of Who's another group that... Anyway, can't think of one off the top of my head. Anyway, just become a mid-card, upper mid-card act. Especially when they lost to, I think it was Christian, the Usos on SmackDown once. No offense against those guys, but, excuse me. Excuse me. Okay, that's better. Nothing against those guys, but like they were beating guys. I remember when they beat Ryback, Sheamus, and Cena at Elimination Chamber. That might have been their biggest win. But so yeah, I was afraid that they were going to go. Now that they're with the McMahons, it's a lot better. Anyway, where the fuck was I going with that? Sorry. So yeah, they're heels and they've got a lot of faces to fuck around or fuck over and stuff. And I like that he didn't just give the title back to Orton. I really like what they did with Orton. Stephanie McMahon just shrieked. I mean, I've never sounded like a banshee when she was backstage yelling at, "That's hello." By the way, where's Vince? Maybe like I said, most of the time I read the results because time is a luxury for me right now, especially with Monday Night Football being back. But where's Vince been? Did they explain that, or has he just? I've heard this. I hope they don't do it, but I've heard that he's going to come back as the face authority figure. Please don't do that. Anyway, but at the moment it's very good. I like that they didn't give the Triple H stripped the title off of Bryan. It's really funny when he just goes, "Daniel, they got us," and Bryan's like, "Whoa, wait, what the?" I thought that was very funny and very good, very well done. I heard people bitching that Bryan got laid out. He was, again, he got distracted and stuff, and it's better than, I think, maybe I'm wrong, my memory's a little shaky of this one. Jericho, ironically with Triple H, where they did the angle where he beat Hunter because Earl Hebner did a fast count, Hunter demanded the belt back. Didn't Jericho just hand him the belt back? I think that's worse than Bryan getting RKO'd and having the belt taken from him. So anyway, yeah, and then Stephanie McMahon, by the way, I think this is her best run. I've never been a big fan of her, especially in the Attitude Era when her voice was much worse than I've heard NYG say her voice sounds like a transvestite. I think that's a lot better than the 2-year-old voice she was using in the Attitude Era. But you mostly because maybe this is just the internet, guys like me and stuff, but you've heard Stephanie McMahon kind of say the things backstage, or you've read about, and you can believe that this woman is, for lack of a better word, a bitch. And she plays it very well. I'll get into that on the Dusty angle right now, actually. I had very high hopes for this angle. Dusty Rhodes, I think, is one of the best babyface promos I've ever heard. He had cut a great promo, an awesome promo. And then they did something very good. My brother was actually watching with me, and if you that watch my other videos, if you recall, I actually said he doesn't react to wrestling as much as he used to. But when Dusty was out there, we were just like, wow, this is awesome. Stephanie came out, did a really good angle with the Sophie's Choice deal, where she said, you can either choose your fucked up son, Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, or Cody to bring back. My brother, he's a big Cody Rhodes fan. He's like, Cody! Which I was laughing too. I'm like, really? I mean, if you were choosing between the two, you'd obviously choose Cody, but the idea is Dusty's a great father and everything. So yeah, I thought that was very well done. I like Dusty. Dusty was very defiant. Stephanie McMahon was awesome, just like I said, cocky bitch. When the Shield's music hit, my brother just went, no! Because he likes the Shield, but he's just like, no. I think Meltzer pointed this out. No one likes to see an old man, especially a legend, get beat up. So then when they brought out Big Show, finally they did this right. I can't. They did some things right, but I didn't like the angle they did with Bryan, where they made Bryan basically look like a puss to Big Show. But they made this one really good. They brought two angles together, and I like that. The Shield were basically Big Show decided that it was the lesser of two evils to have him knock Dusty out than to have the Shield, who would probably kill him. And it was very well done. Big Show and Dusty were both awesome. Everyone was awesome here. Stephanie in the corner has, The evil, basically the Emperor. Sorry about that. I actually made sure I turned all my stuff down. I thought. By the way, crazy. Trent Richardson going to the Colts. He's not in our division anymore. Anyway, um, so yeah, that was very well done. I love Big Show. Was the crying actually fit here because he wouldn't want to knock out Old Man. He's saying, "Dusty, I'm sorry," and clocks him. That was very well done. I love that he caught him on the way down. So very, very powerful angle. I love that. If that would have been all that happened on the show, I would have said Raw was a thumbs up show. But it wasn't. First off, actually, back to Dusty. When they bring Cody back, he could be big. I mean, he could be really big. My brother said that, actually, the first night I told him that they fired Cody and he saw the angle. He's like, Cody will be big. I was skeptical. They've done a really good job. Cody's much more over now that he's not on TV than when he was. I just pray they don't buff Bagwell this, by which I mean, I can't remember the year. Maybe it was, I can't remember the year. Buff Bagwell hurt his neck. He broke his neck. And when he came back months later, people were going crazy for him. It's in Chronicled Better, Death of WCW, the book by R.D. Reynolds and Brian Alvarez. Great book. You should read it. In fact, they're re-releasing a new version now of a TNA chapter, which should be hilarious. The book is very funny as well. Anyway, Buff Bagwell came back. He got a huge reaction. He forgave Rick Steiner, who broke his neck, and there was talk of, man, this, like, there was thought in people's mind, this guy could be huge. But then they had him turn on, Scott Steiner came out, I think, and they beat up Rick Steiner together, and he took off his shirt to reveal NWO shirt, an NWO shirt. So he turned heel, and most people will tell you, anyone that knows Buff Bagwell can tell you he wasn't a big star, mostly because they turned him heel and just made him another lackey for the faction. I don't think they will, but I pray they don't have Cody join the Triple H in them, because that would be really stupid. But that would just be a twist in the sake of doing a twist. The other thing I hope they don't do what they did to Matt Hardy, where he's big, but they have him get jobbed out, or they just don't make him as big of a star as he could be. If you don't want to make him a WWE star, have him beat Del Rio for the belt. And then have Sandow cash in and beat him or something. Listen, I mean, I said before, the World Heavyweight title is not what it used to be, but it could be if it has a strong enough character and a strong enough feud. I think maybe have Del Rio join the corporation or whatever, and then have Cody come back and take on Del Rio, and then maybe even after that have Sandow, so you can transition Cody versus Sandow again. They have history. Sandow's brought it up a lot of the time, so that's fine. So yeah. Anyway, on to The Miz. Let me say this first of all. I don't like The Miz. At least as a face. Actually, his later heel run was kind of bad too. But as a face, there's debate whether him, Sheamus, or Cena is the most annoying face. Cena's actually third on that list, probably, which says a lot, because Cena is very annoying as a face a lot of the time. But at least he has his moments. Sheamus is very annoying as well, but Miz, my God, this guy. We had said before, or I had said before, and NYG had said before, and a lot of members of the internet had said, the problem with faces today is they're just white meat. Look at Kofi Kingston, look at R-Truth, look at Evan Bourne, look at Christian tuning. Kind of Christian. Look at even Randy Orton at the point was getting there, where he's just a bland white meat baby face. So with Miz, I think he was trying to be something special, but he just went to the upset end of the spectrum where he became more hated than when he was a heel. He had that same stupid purse of his lips. He had that same stupid haircut. He was so unlikable. And then, just to make him more unlikable, they had him say he was the next Ric Flair. I'm sorry, Mike Mizanin is not the next Ric Flair. That being said, I really started to hate him. And then last night, or is it Wednesday right now? Yeah. 2 nights ago on Raw, he had probably his best babyface performance, and ironically, it's when he got taken out. He came out, and he was in Cleveland. He was actually pretty over. His mom and dad were there, his mom was very good. His dad was hilariously bad. his dad was making me cry with laughter at how much he didn't care for his son. And granted, he knew it was fake, but I don't know, just everything was making me laugh about Mrs. Dad for some reason. But anyway, he had great babyface fire when he did his comeback. I like that they had Orton take him out. This is not like sometimes they'll just have dudes taken out in their hometown, just have them taken out in their hometown. This one worked because Randy Orton. They said in the top, you need the killer Randy Orton again. I like that. I would have liked the punt kick more, but what they did was fine. Just because the punt's more established. Um, so yeah, another thing that's funny, there's a bunch of fans next to Mrs. Parents who were screaming, "Yeah, Randy, kill him! Kick him in the head! Give him a punt kick! DDT him!" Which was very funny. But what are you gonna do? So I thought that angle was really well done. Randy Orton's reestablished as a badass. So yeah, very well done. Ryback and Paul Heyman had a very funny segment. Paul Heyman is the best heel in the business right now, I think, still. Even with strong contenders like Bully Ray, Triple H, Randy Orton. Heyman is so hilarious. But, uh, um, I think it said Paul Heyman's yearbook photo, and it was a walrus with the funniest face. I rewound it 3 times. I was laughing so hard. And I don't even think the walrus thing was funny, but the that one. And then they started calling him a walrus, but I'm like, okay, the walrus thing's kind of giving over on me. And then they had him kind of very funny and very good promo on Ryback, talking about how he beat CM Punk, how he's now the best in the world. This man's so good at getting heat. And then the funniest part was when he kissed Ryback on the cheek like a damsel in distress, thanking his or her savior. And this is not bashing homosexuals in any way, but I thought it was so hilarious. Not even just that, the heat that kiss got, because I'd heard about that. I'm like, that's kind of weird, but the heat that got was hilarious. Ryback actually had to laugh at one point. So yeah, they did good on the first week. Ryback was pretty funny. Like I said, I laughed when he said Ryback rules like O'Doyle. Like I said, that would be the only thing I think they could do that would really make this work. The bully part of it, anyway. Also, calling Punk a bully was pretty funny. So yeah, my brother actually thought he said Ryback, roar. I can't decide whether that's funnier than him parroting O'Doyle from Billy Madison or saying Ryback, roar. But yeah, and finally, Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns. They got a lot of time. This is probably Roman Reigns' best match. I really like Roman Reigns, actually. When they first debuted, I'm like, man, they had to give him an anchor or like something. They had to give him Roman Reigns, just have a big guy. But he's actually really good. I like, he has, again, his wrestling's not the greatest. It's pretty good, though, for a big man. But a lot of the stuff, again, that charisma I'm talking about, like Big E, and who else did I say? Magnus, kind of. He really carries himself like a dangerous guy, and I really like that. His promos are. I like that he doesn't have a lot to say in the promos. It works very well. Wish they showed more of them on TV. They do a lot of them online, but the Shield really need more promos on TV. I think because they're Heyman, Punk, probably Shield third. People like Bryan's and Orton's a lot, and Hunter's, they're very good, but I like the Shield a lot, too. I love their promos. Oh, Bray Wyatt's probably, I'd say it might be fourth to the Shield, actually. I'm a big fan of Bray Wyatt. By the way, the Wyatts have kind of fallen off of late. I really hope they, the problem is they don't really have anyone to feud with right now. They took out Kane, who I kind of thought was a lackluster feud anyway. Ever since SummerSlam, they haven't really had much to do, which kind of sucks. So yeah, what to do with the Wyatts real quick. Sorry to go off on this little subject, but it's kind of a good, interesting thought. None of their tag teams are really over enough to make them be main event players. The Usos are, I mean, they have a decent tag team division, but it's not as solid as it should be. Maybe have Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio come back when Rey comes back, and Sin Cara comes back from his dislocated finger. Maybe he's already back, and then they're just not using that whole dealy bob. It's got darker. Anyway, but Yeah, that could work. I'm sure they could cut some good promos on Mysterio and Sin Cara and Rowan and Harper's really good. He was Brody Lee and Chikara. He's really good. He hasn't really had a chance to show it. Not sure about Rowan, but we'll see. And I think they could have a good feud. So maybe they're just waiting on that. Again, I don't know. But anyway, back to man, I keep going off on track. I'll try to get better as I go along, guys. Sorry. Reigns and Bryan had a very good match. I couldn't help but kind of want it to be Rollins and Bryan because I think they had a match, but it was much shorter than this one. But still, Rollins did take an awesome bump. People say Ziggler's the best bumper. I could definitely see why they say that, but Evan Bourne hasn't been on the show in a while. I always thought he was a bit better, and I think Rollins might be better. He doesn't, wave his arms as much as Ziggler does, or thrash, but when he makes shit look like it hurts. He took that drop kick into the table. Even Randy Orton, you can kind of see him go, "Oh shit, you okay?" But yeah, and he even took the knee at the end of this, which I'll get to right now. Had him lose by DQ. Um, had him or Bryan won by DQ. And then the locker room came out and saved him. I love that Orton hightailed it out of there. That was a very good chicken shit heel move. I thought that was very good. Then they had him kind of weird. They had Kofi Kingston take a spear. That was kind of random. But anyway, they had them dispel the shield. Bryan hit that awesome knee, and then everyone's going yes, yes, yes. I thought that was good. I heard they did something interesting on SmackDown. I will comment on until I see it. I rarely watch SmackDown, but might watch that angle. But it will be interesting to see what happens with, I think it was 10 guys. Ziggler was one of them. He could definitely use some freshening up. He beat Dean Ambrose with 50-50 booking. Anyway, um, so yeah, very good Raw. I really enjoyed it. I skipped past some of it. I skipped past the Divas because the bells annoyed the piss out of me, and plus the match didn't look that good. Went way too long for my selling fast forward, so take that for what it's worth. And I skipped past Fandango and R-Truth, and it looks like I missed nothing. That looked like it was just a match to be a match. So yeah, poor Fandango. I've never been. I'm on another thing. I'm on the NYG for Life's boat on is I'm not a fan of R-Truth in the slightest. I never thought he was that great. But yeah, he was out there too. So Zack Ryder. I'm guessing a lot of you guys just get killed by the Shield, or something. So yeah, if you want to do another War Games or maybe even a 6-man, you could. So there's that. So yeah, Raw was very good. I don't really have many battleground predictions. They're probably gonna do the tag match because Usos won the tag team #1 contenders match, and they're probably gonna do Ziggler versus Ambrose again. They were hinting at it, and not sure what else you do. I'm guessing Punk and Ryback's happening. MYG pointed this out. That he thinks Punk and Lesnar might happen in Hell in a Cell. That would be a very good for it. Especially if Punk is going to main event wrestling. And like I said, I don't know if Lesnar's contract only. Maybe he can do more than 3 pay-per-view matches. But last I heard that was the contract. So whatever they do, I'm sure it'll be good. I hope they don't do Punk and Ryback again in Hell in a Cell, which is kind of interesting. The rules are pretty much reversed from the feud they had last year, Ryback and Punk, where Ryback's now Heyman's guy and Punk is the face fighting Heyman. So they could use that, but hope they don't do Hell in a Cell. Maybe if they want to make it interesting, they'll have. Here's a little idea. Just came off the top of my head. They could have a battleground. It ends with interference or something, and everyone runs in from like that's been involved in the storyline. And then at the end of it, Cody Rhodes comes out. Everyone's going nuts. Cody Rhodes. Maybe if you have to add the face Vince, they could say he re-signed Cody Rhodes. And then the title's still held up because it ends in a draw. And at Hell in a Cell, you have a 6-man, just like you did with Armageddon. For the vacant title, there's enough characters to do this. Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, Cody Rhodes, Big Show. I guess Miz, because he got taken out by Orton, that would actually work. And maybe Dean Ambrose, because the Shield have been a very big part of the angle. So it could be 3 of the McMahon's guys. In Big Show, Orton, and Dean Ambrose versus 3 of the WWE or like, again, I hope they don't do this, but Vince McMahon's guys and Brian, well, I guess Brian wouldn't be a Vince guy, Brian, Cody, and Miz. So you could go that route. I don't know if they will. I actually kind of doubt that they will, but there's a lot of interesting ways they can go. People are interested in the product again. They haven't dropped the ball, which is kind of funny. That's what everyone prays they don't do after they did it with Nexus and the Summer of Punk angle. Um, so I'm praying they don't either. They've done very good. I think I don't wish injury on anybody, but it is a good time for Cena to be gone off TV because A, you want to see how well Punk and Bryan can handle this, and B, they're not afraid to hurt any of their baby faces right now, which they would be with Cena. I'm willing to bet right now if Cena were the guy in this angle, which I've heard was the plan, he would have taken out the Shield. Um, he would have at least twice have gotten the upper hand on, or even four on Orton. Um, he would have had shitty promos. They would have tried to convince us that the WWE doesn't want him as the poster boy, even though he's all over the posters of everything. His merchandise is everywhere. Um, that will. I'm hoping they turn him heel and have him join the the faction, the McMahon Helmsley regime. Maybe that's the main event: Mania, Cena versus Bryan again, or Cena versus Punk. We'll see. Again, all speculation. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed my video. Sorry that it looks like this one went 36 minutes. I'm trying to shorten them down, but I go off on tangents. Sorry, guys. Hopefully I didn't mumble as much. Hopefully the line didn't get too fucked up. And thank you for watching. I need to send. I think I already did this, but again, NYG for Life plans on promoting me through his videos. I very much appreciate that. He doesn't have to do it. If you're a guy with a video or a vlog like this, and you watch mine and you like it, or have suggestions, please. I'd gladly take them. If you want to leave a review and you have your own, I'll pay you back. Trust me. My time is kind of a luxury right now. You can tell because I've made about 30+ minute videos, but it is a luxury right now. So I'm sorry if I don't get back to you right away. But again, I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a wonderful time. Good luck and good night.